Good evening, everybody. Jayy here with another War of the Visions video, and today we are talking about our upcoming global unit, Sakura, what she means for my account, what she means for your account, and where she's going to kind of fit into the game, and then finally, I'll say if I'm going to pull her, if you should pull her, and why. Okay, let's start by throwing her master ability on the screen. This is the thing that I think is going to catch a lot of people's attention, and so let's address it first, right? Okay, it increases HP 10% for your light allies, it increases light attack 15 for your light allies, and gives her 10 defense. So, what's really good about this? Obviously, it's the light ally buffs, right? 10% HP for your light allies, which are mostly tanks, is pretty nice. And then light attack 15 is good for your physical damage, it's good for your magical damage. Mashiri? I guess we're looking at you, Mashiri. Yeah, I'm not, nope. No, never mind. That would imply that you play Mashiri, and I know none of y'all are doing that. So anyway, but 15 light attack across the board. You don't have to look very far down the line for those like really anticipated units, like Yuna or something, who are going to benefit from that maybe. I don't know. Hey, that's a really great mastery ability, and it's a taste of what we've been getting with some of our newer and limited units where they're buffing their same element type. Now, this is not an immediate, oh, I'm going to run mono light team stuff, but it is a step towards having some mono light teams with Sakura on them. So let's pull up the rest of her stats and see where she kind of fits in. Like what type of team are we going to want to make around her? Put her stats up on the screen here. You see 2203 HP for a mage, because she is a magic user. That's pretty decent, right? Like, if there's a way of boosting that, she might survive some hits, especially with that defense 10. She's not a tank. Like, she's not a tank by any means. But anyway, okay, let's look at the rest of her stats. Magic, 342. Base, I can live with that. That's not insanely high, but it's UR level, and it's going to make her good as a caster. Agility, 59. Respectable. Again, not the fastest person in the game, but 59 base agility is really good, and it's actually even better on her because of some of her support abilities that we're going to get to in a minute. Okay, what else do we notice on here? 10 defense, 4 spirit, okay. Move jump is basic 3-1. Alright, she looks like a mage, right? She just kind of looks like a mage. She has that 15 light attack up from her master ability, so we like that. And, yeah, other than that, fairly standard. Negative 10 dark, that's what you expect. She's strong against magic, like most mages are. And actually has a little bit of strength to pierce in there, but it's just 10%. And, you know, pierced units are probably still going to wreck her. But, hey, if your mages ever can survive one hit from a DPS, you feel like, hey, we did something good. Alright, let's talk about her passives, though. Her support abilities, excuse me. And how those really work nicely with her stats. First of all, you're going to see she has increased magic from 10 to 30%. So it's just a 30, let's just say 30%, because you're going to level that all the way. A 30% magic increase is going to be nice for her because she has a nice high base. You're looking at getting 92 or 94 additional magic from that support ability, and she has it twice. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where you just need to like ramp her magic up as much as possible, you could actually run increased magic 2 times. That's not how I'm probably going to run her most of the time, but there could be situations where that's nice. Her next one we're going to look at upgrades one of her skills. Now, it's in Japanese because we don't have this unit yet. This is just a preview, but the upgrade to that skill is significant. We'll get there. But check out that increased agility by 12%. Hey, we like increasing agility. Especially we like increasing agility on our buffing units like Sakura here. And we're going to get into her skills later. But 12 more agility. Hey, she's got that nice 59 base agility. So those percent increases are more effective. She's looking at getting maybe 6 more agility from that. Hey, and that's nice. That's going to put her into that speedier range, so she can get her buffs off early in a fight. I really like that ability. I'm probably going to run it a lot. Now, her third support ability that I want to highlight is really good as well. Increased Spirit 12 for self, and increase dark resistance 12 for self. One situation where Sakura is going to be useful is on anti-magic teams if the magic meta finds its way back in. And in that case, you might want to consider using this passive because spirit stacking with things like smart coats and stuff like that is a reasonable way of resisting magic damage. And then increase dark resistance 12 for self. That turns her -10 into a +2. And again, with that pierce resistance, if you're fighting against canes or something like that, maybe it's a way of surviving that one cane AoE that he's so good at finding. So I think she has good support abilities that work well with her base stats. Like when they made her support abilities, they weren't just being like dumb and giving her random ones. They gave her ones that make sense for her kit. I think that's really important. Okay, let's talk next about some of those abilities she has and why I really am kind of excited for Sakura, and it's the abilities. Okay, right off the bat, I think you're going to start to see where the excitement for this unit comes in. It's not necessarily in her master ability like what a lot of people are focusing on. I think it's in her support abilities and her DPS abilities. She's starting to remind me a little bit of like Skull, but instead of a time mage support Skull, like I'm going to enhance your bruisery support Skull. Bruisery support, like a, not, you know what I mean. Okay, you'll see what I mean anyway. So check out this move right here. I can't say the name. Oh well. But I can show you that this is an AoE buff that increases resistance by 25% to 3 elements. And it's not 3 like terrible elements that you don't see all the time. It's light, dark, and lightning. 3 of the most prevalent elements in the game. This skill alone makes Sakura a great support unit because you fight a lot of light, you fight a lot of dark, and you fight a lot of lightning. She can buff your whole team to resist 25% of that damage. Wow. Wow. That's incredibly good and super useful. I don't even know if I need to explain like anymore. I think you all just understand that that's great. And that it hits in a big AoE is even better. It's not some single target buff. It's an AoE buff. Your whole group will get it. It's awesome. Okay, let's move on though. What other abilities make her great? Check this one out. This is one of her better DPS moves that I'm excited for that does 185% damage, again in a cross-shaped AoE, so she's got the AoE. Then it decreases lightning resist and decreases light resist on the target for 3 turns by 30%. Amazing. Like, she's probably running with one of those element units in her group, and she's going to boost their damage. Again, I think of Skull when I think of this character, because he would fit very nicely into a group with her as someone who could be like a time mage support to go with her bruiser support, and then he's going to do more damage on targets if she's already hit him with this. We'll get into team comps or people I think will work well with her later, but this is a great move to debuff targets and do a nice amount of damage on top. So very excited for this move. Let's check out the next one that I'm excited for. Alright, this is the one that has caught a lot of attention on like Reddit and the internet and stuff because of the way it dispels the courage buff in the game, because we all know how terribly annoying that buff is. But here's the move, right? 265% damage, so extra large damage. Awesome. I love me some high damage mages. And then it dispels the courage buff and increases her spirit penetration by 50. So if she is a part of if she is a part of a mage meta that's creeping back in, this spell is going to ignore 50 spirit on targets that she's hitting. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, it's not going to help her against like people stacking magic resist, but there's lots of easy ways to stack spirit right now with things like smart coats, etc. So this move's going to hit really hard, even if people are building to beat some other mages. And then dispelling courage is fantastic. Like, I hope the AI is smart enough that if like a cane is running at you, they'll one-shot him with this ability and not a different one. We'll see. I've expected big things out of the AI before and been let down, so tempering my excitement, but this is a cool move. A really cool move that I'm excited to use. Alright, Let's also talk about her limit burst for a second. Oh no, let's do this one first. Okay, yeah, here we go. Another buff, and this is an offensive focused buff. So she's got her bruiser buff. Now let's look at her I'm going to help my mages out buff. So big AoE and not centered on her. She can target with this and cast it at range. Increases magic attack by 25 for 3 allies, and increases spirit penetration 20 for her. So she can really stack that spirit penetration. You're not going to be able to spirit tank this girl. And she can buff her magic attack of her allies. It's really cool. This is not the magic stat we're talking about. We're talking about magic attack, the stat, up 25. That's better than like what a +5 staff gives you right now. Fantastic buff. Really excited for this as well. Now let's look at her limit burst. I almost said limit break, but limit burst. You can see, again, hits in a nice big AoE, does 200% damage, so less damage base than some of her other moves, but check out the Dart Killer times 35. So, Dwayne, hello? You're going to get smacked by this. Or Kane, but again, I hope she kills Kane with her Courage Dispel, but if he doesn't have it for some reason, pop. Ruinstern, all these dark units running around, this move is going to slaughter them. Like, good night dark units in a nice big AoE. Oh man, Light has needed an AoE mage. Actually, I don't know if it's needed it, but, well, it's going to be really nice to have one. So this is another great move that she has that I'm pretty dang excited to use. Alright, let's get to the who I envision working well with her now. Because I think the obvious pairing for her is Yuna down the road, then just mix in kind of somebody else, a tank or whatever. And I think that comp is going to be really broken. So if you're going for Yuna later, I'll just say right now, you should probably pick up this girl. I think she's going to support Yuna. She's going to like support Yuna who's supporting your group, and then she's going to clean up and do damage. And I think she's going to be an amazing partner with Yuna and like a light element tank or something like that. But we don't have Yuna. So if you pull her Wednesday, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I wish it was tomorrow, who are you going to run her with for now? So here's my thoughts. One team I thought of straight away that I think would be awesome is Kilfei and Skull. Neither one of them are light element, so they're not getting that bonus, but Kilfei's a really cool magic tank who can benefit from the buffs that Sakura is going to bring. And Skull also will benefit from those buffs, but can take advantage of her lightning element debuff if you kind of work the AI to do that. So I envision like a really super carry, super tanky Kilfei here, who's getting quickened from Skull, who's getting the buffs from Sakura, and just running forward with her own buffs on and just energy bustering the other team in the face. Ooh, that's an exciting team, and I'm pretty excited to see that in action. Obviously, I want to mention, before I go on to my next little team comp imagination thing, that yes, of course she's going to work well with light element tanks. I don't even need to cover that. Like, I think you can just see that light element unit she's going to work with. So I'm trying to give you some other ideas for things I'm going to try. My second other idea is Rain and a calculator. So Rain is another great magic tank. So if magic starts becoming meta again, with Sakura coming out and people finishing off their Ildiras or whatever, Rain might creep back up in priority. And Rain's going to like those 25% resist buffs that she's going to bring him. And he's going to like that magic attack buff because his damage is magic focused. So I think you could put Rain out there and make him like super survivability Rain by throwing a calculator in there as a second like hybrid support damage dealer. One thing that's been so annoying about dealing with calculators is their supports that also deal a ton of damage. Now most of their support comes in the form of healing, right? Yeah, Ildira can, speed you up, and Leela can use Protect, but here we have, like, a buffing version who's, like, buffs are super good, who also can turn around and dish out the damage. It's just a cool unit, and I think would work really nicely with Rain and a calculator if the magic meta finds its way back in. If not, hey, go for other tanks. She's going to support your light element tanks that you probably have at least one of at some point really well. So those are my thoughts on Sakura. And now, am I going to pull her? Yeah, I'm going to pull her. Like, of course I am. Because you guys watch my channel, YouTube pays me money, and I'm spending every dime of that money pulling in this game. So if you guys keep supporting me, I'll keep putting out the content because I'll be able to afford to pull every week, which is awesome. So thank you guys. Now, should you pull her is maybe a more difficult question. She's not Yuna, right? And I think Yuna is going to be the most game-defining character that's coming out in the near future for us. That being said, she is a direct buff to Yuna and groups that Yuna is going to work with. So if your plan is, I am saving for Yuna, if you've saved enough or you're confident that you can save enough after Sakura, I think Sakura is a great pickup on the path to Yuna domination in the near future. Also, if you just really like to play mage teams, if you're like, I'm going to get Yuna probably, but I'm more of just a mage player, that's kind of the identity of my account, big thumbs up. One of the coolest mages in the game coming out here, I think. And she looks really cool. She got the big old scythe, and like, she's cool looking. So, yeah, like, there's a reason. Now, should you skip her if blank? Yeah, okay. There's some people out there who are going to look to skip here. If you're one of the people who's just hardcore saving for EX jobs, this is probably a pass for you. She's not going to get her EX job for a really long time. And so if you're short on Viz and you're like, I'm not spending till like EX jobs are a thing, pass. You're still going to be able to play the game without this unit. Of course you're going to be able to play the game without this unit. So if you're strapped for Viz or you're saving for EX, sure, pass. You know, you do you. Personally, I think she's going to be great. I'm going to pull her. I'm really excited to build her and put out some videos about her. So yeah, that's it, guys. Nice short video today. Just trying to highlight what I think is going to be a really exciting unit this week. Units are always more exciting than vision cards, let's be real. But cool. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please check out some of my other videos and hit that subscribe button. We just finished our series on supports. So we have season 1 of supports and tanks in the channel. Check those out in the links below. We have mages coming up next. So she's coming out at a good time. She'll hit the mage series right as it comes out. We'll definitely get a full review video for this chick once I've had my hands on her. Until then, I hope you all have great luck in your polls, and I will see you in my next video.